Julia, let me start with you, and let's start with that statement from Secretary Mayorkas. What steps did he lay out for how DHS plans to confront this challenge, what's being described as this administration's first legitimate crisis?
Right, Craig. Well, what he laid out are really just steps to try to get these children into proper care as quickly as possible. As you know, we have a backup right now in Customs and Border Protection. So he laid out a plan to try to get what he called joint processing facilities that would take children into the care of Health and Human Services almost immediately after they cross the border. That's where they get better care. But he's also talking about long-term solutions to work with the countries where these children are coming from to try to improve conditions there. And he talked a lot about the message that they're receiving in those countries very recently in an interview, and this is what he had to say.
It's not just the message, it's also providing the legal and safe avenue for them to come, and we are rebuilding that with tremendous speed. This is what we do. We know how to secure the border, we know how to care for children, and we know how to build legal and safe pathways to the United States that the law provides.
So you can see, Craig, I mean, he's very quickly trying to lay out they have a problem that's creating false messages, false narratives where people think that they can come here and be taken care of. But specifically for the children, they need to be in a position where these children aren't just languishing in Border Patrol custody, but they're actually getting into Health and Human Services care where they can then go live with a sponsor or a relative, and that they could also get mental health services, legal services, even a bed, something that they can't necessarily have in border custody where they're languishing for many times over the legal limit.
And Julia, we also learned a short time ago, just a few hours ago, FEMA setting up a convention center in Dallas to hold up to 3,000 unaccompanied teenage migrant boys specifically. The idea reportedly here is to alleviate overcrowding at border processing facilities. How big of a difference could this make, or is this just a drop in the bucket?
Well, to give you some context, when you're talking about bringing over those 3,000 teenage boys, we just learned today, Craig, that as of Sunday, there were over 4,000 children in border custody, and nearly 3,000 of them had been languishing there for over that 72-hour legal limit. That's a huge jump just from last week, where we saw 3,000 there and 1,400 over 72 hours. So while they are bringing these facilities online as quickly as possible, the numbers are just going up so quickly that once they set up one, they quickly need to set up the other. And that's why FEMA is really key here, because they're able to set up facilities like that place in Dallas, and then HHS can come in and do exactly what Secretary Mayorkas laid out.
And Dasha, meanwhile, where you are in Donna, Texas, you're getting a firsthand look at one of these facilities that's been called, quote, the epicenter of overcrowding. What are you seeing there?
Yeah. Well, Craig, frankly, we're not seeing a whole lot. There has not been a lot of transparency into this facility. No one has been granted access inside. We have asked for that. We've also asked for photos and videos of the current conditions in the facility, as well as numbers of how many people are actually inside. We have not been provided any of that information yet. What we do know, we largely know from our conversations with lawyers and family members, we know that this facility is meant to house about 250 people. But one lawyer tells me that from her conversations with children here that there are many times more than that right now. She tells me she met kids as young as 1 year old to as old as 17, that they were unanimously distressed. They said they heard children crying day and night. They had limited access to outdoor time, about 20 minutes every few days. And actually, just yesterday afternoon, we did hear the sounds of children playing, we believe, outside in the courtyard here for about 20 minutes or so. We also had the opportunity to speak with the mother of a 4-year-old girl who was detained here. The mother came to the United States about a year ago, was hoping to bring her daughter here to join her. Her daughter came to the U.S.-Mexico border with her aunt. Her aunt was expelled to Mexico, and the daughter was deemed an unaccompanied minor, placed here in the Donna facility, even though the aunt, from what we hear from her lawyer, gave Customs and Border Patrol contact information for her mother. Her mother was not contacted. Finally, she was able to get in touch via a lawyer who was able to help. But I want you to hear from the mom about her concern during the time she didn't know where her daughter was. She spoke to us on condition of anonymity because she She is an asylum seeker here in the U.S. Take a listen to what we heard. This is your baby. This is a 4-year-old girl. What was going through your mind? What were you thinking about? And what were you most worried about?
Yo sabía que estaba ahí, pero no sabía si me la iban a entregar o la iban a mandar con otra familia, y todo eso me angustiaba mucho.
Craig, she told me her daughter was scared, was lonely. She got one phone call with her where her daughter cried through the entire time. She was ready to come pick her up here at this facility, but instead she was transferred to a foster care facility for several days before finally getting to reunite with her mother and father here. This is just an example of the complicated system that is being completely overwhelmed right now, Craig. We reached out to Health and Human Services and to Customs and Border Patrol on this. They told us they do not comment on specific cases. But right now, as Joe Biden and his administration try to create a more humane immigration policy, our sources here tell us we're quite far away from that, especially at facilities like this, Craig.
Yeah, real world consequences. Dasha, stand by. Paula, you tweeted something recently that caught our attention. You tweeted, quote, while POTUS unwinds 4 years of Trump's immigration policies, the reality is that desperation is still very present at the border. So Paula, if you were advising this president, how would you suggest he square border security with just human decency?
I mean, look, I think the first thing they have to understand is the desperation that is driving these families, right? There is nothing more powerful than a mother, a father trying to flee poverty, violence, gang violence, trying to flee transphobia, homophobia, machismo, just to give their children a better chance, a shot at survival, right? That is something that they have to understand. And so I think we have to acknowledge that what they are dealing with right now is a damage control, right? They are dealing with 4 years of a bomb that has been completely deactivated, right? Where thousands of asylum seekers have been stranded, where 5,000 children were separated from their parents, where over 23 migrants died in these ICE facilities, right? Where aid was cut to Central America. So I understand how messy it is, right? I understand the contradictions that exist in this. But the first thing that they have to understand is that when these children come, right, they deserve beds. When these children come, they deserve love. And if that means transferring them over to their relatives that are here in the most speedy way, then let's do that.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.